All right. What's up, guys? Can you guys hear me? Awesome. It's my first post-game Zoom, so bear with me. So it's good to see you all. Was really proud of the guys tonight. Obviously, this was a long time coming. This game, months in the making. The preseason was, it was crazy. With everything with going on with the virus and all the sacrifices that our players have made to practice. And then, tonight was the first time we've seen anybody from another team since we played Minnesota in March. We haven't been able to scrimmage. You're not able to bring in other practice players because of the protocols and things like that. So our guys have literally been playing against each other since June. So they were really excited to see somebody else. I thought we were a little bit anxious early, but that's to be expected in the first game. I thought we took some quick shots and then we settled down. And I think we were 2 for 9 from our first three, and then from three, and then we made 12 of our last 20. I think one of the things you guys are seeing is the improved shooting this year. It's something I've talked about. I feel like we have a lot more weapons offensively. I think we can space the floor better. I think everybody, pretty much other than Ryan Young, I think everybody hit a three in the game, at least one. And, we're a collection of our parts. I think our new guys did a great job, for Chase to have it. Chase had not played a game, since he played for William and Mary. He sat out a whole year. He was chomping at the bit. Ty Berry, first college game to get 15 points. The return of Anthony Gaines. And then I thought all the returners did a really good job. Especially one of the things was Robbie Barron's defense on their best player, Doss. I think he was averaging 19 a game. And I think he shot like 3 for 16 or 3 for 15 or something like that. So, we were really pleased. We've been following this team. They've played Marquette, they've played Wisconsin, they played Iowa State. And I think we were the only team to hold them under 50. So, that was something we wanted to try to do defensively, was to really lock in. Thought we guarded the ball pretty well. We helped each other, rebounded, and it was a good first step. So definitely open for questions.
All right. First question for Coop Daly.
Hi, Coach. Congrats on the win. Great to see you guys back in action. Early on, though, you guys had a couple struggles, especially with those own zone turnovers, a little bit of ugly play, called timeout. What was the message you were trying to spread to those guys early on?
I just thought we were just a little bit too rushed, and one of the things we've really worked on, and a lot of you guys have watched us, is just we're trying to play with more pace this year. I think you saw us really trying to advance the ball, pass the ball ahead, and I just thought we were a little rushed early. We had a couple uncharacteristic turnovers. I thought we took a couple quick bad shots. I give these guys a lot of freedom, as you see. I'm going to let them shoot when they're open because I think they can make it. But I thought we took some bad ones, and then we settled down. And I thought we had a group that got in there and really gave us like a good 5 to 7 minute burst that I think pushed the lead to 15. We didn't finish the half that well. They cut it to 10. And then in the second half, I just thought we played really well. I thought everybody kind of settled down, got their legs. It's really hard, guys. Obviously I played a long time ago, but even being a coach, when you play on opening night, there's an amazing amount of nerves involved for everyone, coaches, players, especially this year with everything these guys have done. We've had no scrimmages, anything. So I knew they were going to be nervous. And I thought Miller really got us going. He saw the ball. He made a couple shots there, and I thought it kind of let the air out of the balloon a little bit. And from there, I thought we played much better offensively.
Next question for Michael Barthelemy.
Yeah, congrats, Coach, on the win. And, yeah, you mentioned that there's a very slow start to shooting, and then you guys kind of picked it up, especially in the second half. What adjustments did you make, during timeouts and specifically at halftime, to make sure you're opening up the floor for a plethora of shooters to get open?
Yeah, I just thought we settled into the zone. I thought the more we saw it, and then they got out of it. Then they ended up playing man the whole second half. So then we were able to do some things in man. I thought our guys kind of adjusted. They were almost daring us to shoot a lot of threes. They were going under a lot of screens. We just talked about, setting our screens a little bit lower so we could shoot at the line and not shoot so deep. And then I thought the guys shared the ball. Our 2 point guards, I think, had 15 assists and 1 turnover, which is outstanding. Boo was a little bit under the weather. It wasn't COVID related, thank God. But, he wasn't able to be at our shoot around today. He wasn't feeling well. Didn't know if he was going to even be able to play. So I was really pleased that he was able to gut it out, give us some good minutes. And I thought he and Greer did a really good job running our team tonight.
Next question for Eli Karp.
Good evening, Coach. You mentioned it early in your opening statement, but the play of Chase Audige, can you just elaborate more on, what you saw from him and how he's able to, along with Miller, jumpstart you guys in the first half?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can see Chase. He's an aggressive, hungry player, and it just gives us another guy. He can get his own shot. He can get out in transition and get to the basket. He shoots threes. He can get fouled. And when you play in the Big Ten against really good defenses, you need guys that can create when things break down. And I think it just gives us another guy with Boo. Obviously we know with Miller what he can do, as a shooter. I think you saw Tiberi is another guy who he's a real weapon out there on the floor. I mean, I didn't even know he had 15 points. That's how quickly he put up points on the board in the second half. So, I just think we have more firepower. And Chase, we were excited about him. We wanted to have him last year. I mean, we knew we saw it in practice. He was always the best player on the other team when we played, preparing for Big Ten games. And we could see there the talent was there. He could score. He can defend. He's an athlete. And it's I'm really glad to have him. I think he's going to be a great player for us. Not a good one. I think he's going to have a great career.
Next question for Louie.
Louie,
Sorry about that. How are you?
what's up?
Congrats on the win. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Good to be back. Yeah. So I was going to ask about Chase too. Tell me how you guys discovered him and how he wound up at Northwestern. Well, how did he wound up at William and Mary, first of all, and then how he got to Northwestern?
He was a little bit of an under the radar recruit. We had heard about him in high school. We had placed a couple calls, but it didn't really get much farther than that. He's a New York City kid. Played at an academic prep school up in Pennsylvania. And I thought he was under the radar. He went to Wood. They did a great job kind of in their evaluation. And he had a really good, that year we were looking to add a transfer. We felt we needed to bring in a transfer and we were looking for somebody in his mold. We wanted an athletic wing that could score the ball. We watched a lot of tape. We looked at the guys and, they ended up making a coaching change at William and Mary. He loved it there. He didn't want to leave, but they let go of his coach. And, they had a kid, Justin Pierce, who ended up transferring to North Carolina. They had another kid who ended up transferring. I think 4 of the 5 starters transferred when the coach was let go. So Chase, he was looking for a new start and, we reached out to him. I flew down to see him in Williamsburg, spent some time with him, really liked what he was about, really liked what I saw on film. We got him on a visit and I think he saw how much we believed in him. And, he's a kid that values academics as well. So he was able to come to the Big Ten and not have to sacrifice anything athletically. And I think he saw an opportunity to have an impact for us.
Thank you.
Next question for John Riker.
Hi, Coach. Congrats on the win. You guys had some big performances from a really young backcourt. These are guys who are amazingly all sophomores or under, Boo and Chase and Tiberi. What kind of confidence does this give them going forward? Just to have this kind of in the books and having just the offensive.
No, it's huge. When no matter what, like I told you guys, I mean, all those guys were nervous and I was nervous. I mean, it's the first game. I always get nervous. I mean, I used to get nervous when I coached a team that had 5 lottery picks out there, just on the first game, because you just know that guys are going to be a little bit more gunned up on the first game. And a lot of times it manifests itself in poor offense. You get going too fast. You take rush shots. You take quick shots. You put too much pressure on yourself. And that's why I thought Miller's shooting early really opened the door for him. He made a few threes there. And I thought that let the air out of the balloon. But to your point, to have a Tiberi, a Chase Audige, even Anthony Gaines, he missed most of it just to get some playing time and be back out there playing and running up and down. And, and not only for those guys, but for Robbie and Pete, and we're using, as you can see, we're using Pete a little bit differently this year, trying to be a little bit more creative with him to take advantage of his skill set as a big that can play out on the floor. And what that does is it really spreads the floor as well. I mean, he can bring it up in transition. He's a good passer. He can make threes. So we're trying to utilize that, when we had that little bit when him and Robbie are playing together on Pine.
Thank you.
Next question for Gabriella Carroll.
Hi, congrats on the win, Coach. You were obviously able to give a lot of guys like Ty Berry, especially, but Matt Nicholson, a bunch of your other freshmen, a lot of playing time this game. What does that mean for those younger guys on your roster going forward?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you know, that's how, I mean, we know what we're going to be up against in the Big Ten. You know, we have, you know, that's what was frustrating about not being able to play our first few games. Like, we wanted as many opportunities for these guys to get out there and play, you know, and we'll have these 5 opportunities to get out there before, you know, conference play kicks in. And all these games matter for all these young kids, even the returners, you know, because we're playing a little differently this year. Like I said, guys, we're playing a little bit faster. We're doing some different things offensively. We're doing some different things defensively. We didn't really break out, you know, some of the things we're going to try to do defensively to mix it up a little bit. We didn't break that out as much tonight, but it's a different system. It's kind of a fresh start for a lot of these guys. And, you know, they've really done a good job in the preseason, and it was great to get out there and just see some other faces and play against some other players.
Time for a few more final questions. Next question for Daniel Olinger.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you here. You just mentioned how you're going to be doing some different things offensively, defensively. Tonight, my math's a little rough, but I think you took about 10 more three-point attempts than you did on average last year in most of your games. Is that like something we could see as a big change going forward, or maybe just something?
Yeah, we have more shooters. I mean, if you just look at our rotten, and that's not knocking what we had last year, but that's, you know, Pat Spencer was more of a driver and an attacker. You know, AJ Turner was more of a driver and a mid-range guy. You know, the guy really, other than Miller, we didn't have a consistent three-point shooter last year. We had a lot of streak. You know, Pete and Robbie were real streaky as freshmen and sophomores. So those guys have improved as shooters, as our bigs. You know, really, other than Ryan Young and maybe Matt Nicholson, you know, I feel like all other 8 guys can all really shoot the ball well. I mean, even Ryan Greer is a much improved three-point shooter, and that's something he didn't really do much in the past. So we are going to shoot a lot of threes. We're going to open the floor. We're going to shoot a lot of threes. We're going to try to utilize what our strengths are. And I think one of our strengths is shooting. So that is going to be something, in my opinion, that you'll see more of this year.
Was that a big reason behind you guys going after someone like Ty Berry, who's shown, like he showed again tonight, he's such a good shooter, and that thinking we need to have more shooting on this team?
No question. I mean, our offense, I mean, you absolutely, that's what you do as a coach. And, you know, really for me too, like I had a lot of extra time in the spring and summer to watch a lot of film, to do a lot of soul searching about, you know, what kind of system we want to play, what kind of player we want to build around. And, you know, my personality has always been one. I was a shooter, you know, and I want these guys to think freely. We want to open the floor a little bit up. We want to play with more pace. And we hold them accountable, though, to playing tough defense, you know, and that's something that won't change. But I want to give these guys more freedom offensively to kind of to shoot the ball. And because I think they deserve it. You know, I think we have a lot of guys, and I think it's spread around. I mean, everybody hit a three except for Ryan Young and Nicholson tonight. So it shows we got a lot of guys that can shoot the ball. And I think from night to night, it's going to be nice to have more than 1 or 2 options to be able to score.
And final question for Ben Moscow.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. I had a question that was kind of more general about that the extra year of eligibility that all the players are granted. As somebody who has a younger team, what does that mean for your development going forward?
Yeah, it's exciting for me because, you know, we've really tried, if you look at it, you know, we only have 10 scholarship guys this year, and that was kind of by design because we wanted to then add next year, which we did. We had 3 outstanding players coming in, which gets us to 13. And we expect to have everyone back. So, you know, really over these past couple of years, it was about rebuilding our talent base, about getting guys in here that are going to really believe in what we're doing and get back to where we believe we should be, you know, which is in postseason consideration. Obviously, the conference is going to be very tough this year, but it's exciting, like you said, to know that everybody who played tonight, we didn't have one senior on the floor. And, you know, theoretically, Boo Booey's still a freshman. Ryan Young's still a freshman. Robbie's a freshman. Pete's a sophomore. And Miller's a sophomore. So, that's what that extra eligibility does. It gives us a chance to continue to build this group up together. That was part of why we played them all last year. That was done by design. We knew we were going to have our struggles, but we're committed to this group and growing with them. And I think those experiences they got last year are going to help them be more equipped to play this year and into the future for us.
And can we expect Chase Audige to be a fixture in the starting lineup?
Yeah, I mean, to me, guys, to be quite honest, I think we have a number of guys who can start. And, the Boo didn't start tonight. He would have started. He has not been feeling well the last couple of days. So that was kind of a last-minute switch. But I think you saw really we have a lot of guys who can start. And what I've really tried to tell the team is don't worry about who's starting. Worry about being a finisher in a close game. And so, I think that could change. It could stay the same. I can't answer that question, but I view Chase as a starter. And there's no question about that. And whether he starts or comes off the bench, I think you can see what he can bring to our team, and we're excited to have him.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, guys. Good to see you.
All right, I think we are ready to go. We are joined by Miller Kopp first. We will go directly into questions. Please message Athletic Communications in the chat to get in line. We will start with our first question from John Riker.
Hey, Miller. It's obviously a very different environment without the fans, without a ton of people in the arena. How do you feel like you guys were able to bring your own energy, especially in that offensive surge in the second half?
Well, I mean, it's just something we focused on. I mean, in practice, it's something that we've, harped on all the time, is bringing our own energy. And, we had such a great bench. The whole game is, something that I really loved. And the refs had to give the guys on the bench like multiple warnings to sit down. And so when I heard that, like, I love that. So, I mean, that was a big thing for us, is just focusing on that and knowing that we have to bring our own energy.
Thank you.
Next question for Michael Barthelemy.
Hi. So obviously, as Coach Collins alluded to, you guys are playing a lot faster, a lot more up tempo. How has that kind of opened things up for you? We saw you take a lot of threes early on, especially. How has that new play style kind of worked out for you early on?
Yeah, I mean, it's great not just for me, but for everybody else, because we have such great shooters on the team, and we have a lot more versatility. 1 through 5. We've got so many guys who can dribble, pass, and shoot. And just playing with more pace and more speed. We get more possessions and we put more pressure on the defense. So it not only helps me, but it helps I think everybody else. And you saw it with our shooting. We got a bunch of open looks and guys knocked them down. So I mean, that was huge for us, and it's something that we've been practicing all preseason, and it's good to finally put it into action.
Next question for Coop Daly.
Hey, Miller, congrats. Just wondering how did it feel to play out there with guys like Barry and Aldridge for the first time?
I mean, it was great. It was great because it's tough. I mean, we've spent I don't even know how many months playing against them. I mean, sometimes we play against each other in practice. I mean, with each other in practice, but most of the time it's against each other, and it's tough because Chase is such a good defender and Ty is so hard to guard, and so it's it was great to kind of make it officially like, okay, now we're together. I've got these guys behind my back and I'm behind theirs too. So it was awesome to make it official and go to battle with those guys.
Next question for Daniel Olinger.
Hey, Miller. So this is maybe a little bit of a weird question, but I think it was on that last 3-pointer you took right before the first half. You got fouled on it. I noticed you yelled corner boo, right before he threw it to you. Do you think because you have the reputation as the best shooter on this team, when the team is scoring last year, that when you talk or you're kind of calling for the ball, your teammates know right away to look for you because they think of you as probably the offensive fulcrum of this team?
I think I remember that play definitely, but I think that's for everybody. If anybody calls for the ball and anybody, especially with a guy like Boo, who puts a lot of pressure on the defense and always will find the open guy. I think if anybody would have done that, would have called one more Boo or corner Boo or whatever, he would have kicked him. But definitely that's something that I've worked on since last year, just being more vocal, and even though there aren't fans, there's still no excuse to not call for the ball if you're open.
Next question for Eli Karp.
Hey, Miller, congrats on the win. Can you talk a little bit about what Chase brought to the table today? Obviously 16 points, first time he's played in a long time. What was it like playing next to him?
Well, I mean, he put so much pressure on the defense. He can do so many different things that we didn't necessarily have last year. He's a really good ISO player. He's a really good defender. So he can guard the best player and then come down and get a bucket too. So, he's another guy who, the defense really has to worry about, just from shooting the 3-2 and getting to the rim. So it was great playing with him, and our chemistry is really only building. And I enjoy it for sure.
Time for one final question for Miller. This is for Gabriella Carroll.
Yeah, great win today. You've obviously only been playing and scrimmaging against your own team. What was it like being out there playing against another team for the first time since March, really?
Well, it was awesome. It was kind of a relief off my shoulders, and I think the team's shoulders is just having the opportunity again to play somebody else. And this is the game we love, and we've all worked so hard throughout the summer and the spring and all that type of stuff to just to have this opportunity. And I'm really grateful for it, and my teammates are too, and the coaches are too, and it's just what we love to do. And it was really awesome just to see all the hard work and all the people behind the scenes that nobody knows about, that help make this game happen, just so we could just throw the ball in the air. And it was awesome. It was really awesome.
Great. Thanks for your time, Miller. Appreciate it.
All right, thank y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Hello, we can hear you great. Thanks, Chase, for being here. As always, just please message Athletic Communications in the chat to get in line to ask a question. We'll get started. First one for John Riker.
Yeah. So Chase, your last game in NCAA action was a little while ago, and then you have the hiatus, but then also obviously the coronavirus pandemic kind of complicating that even more. What did it just feel like to step back into NCAA action, and especially have the performance that you did?
Definitely felt great. It was definitely long days, not gonna lie, from COVID. And I mean, I came to Northwestern with an injury. So just rehabbing back and then coming into practice, and just that long sit out year. And like after the year, COVID hit, and it's just like you didn't know if he was gonna play again. So to answer your question, it was definitely long days. But I mean, I'm a Christian, I'm a praying man, so I just prayed every day for us to get this opportunity, and it came. So I'm grateful.
Next question for Eli Karp.
Yeah, kind of going off of that one, Coach Collins said earlier there were a lot of nerves around the team just as the season opener. Obviously, you haven't played in a long time. What were the nerves like for you going in, and how important was it to hit some shots there in the first half to calm yourself down?
I think as a team, like we were just we prepared for this game for so long. We prepared to play a game, not just for this game, for so long. So it was definitely some nerves. I mean, for me personally, I couldn't even sleep last night. Like I was so excited to get back on the court and just to play with my teammates. We put in so much hard work, but no, I think we did a great job. To be honest, all credit to Pine Bluff; they're a great team. But I think we really put it together today, and I think we have a long way to go with where we need to go. But I think we have some potential.
Next question for Ben Moscow.
Hey Chase, congratulations on a great performance today. What would you say some of your goals are for the season going forward?
Just win, to be honest. I came here to impact winning. Obviously, Northwestern is an underdog program and just school, and I've been underdog my whole life. So just taking on that mantra and just try to impact winning as much as we can. It's the only goal.
Next question for Daniel Olinger.
Hey Chase, so obviously you as a transfer, you're coming into this team, and this is a team that brought back a lot of people from last year, a lot of returning players, and you get the start tonight over even some guys who have started before. I just want to know, is there any weird thought process that happens where you feel like, I don't know, you wonder what other guys think, you come in and take a starting spot? I'm sure, and you played a great game tonight, so obviously it worked out, but does anything feelings like that just, I don't know.
No, to be honest. Like coach says at every practice, we have 10 starters. Like you saw from Ty Berry, Robbie, like, do you have guys coming off the bench? Like the starting lineup, it doesn't matter because we have everybody on the team who could play and who could impact winning. So, I mean, coach gave me an opportunity to start, and even if I was coming off the bench, even if I played 2 minutes, like I was going to give them my all. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity. But to answer your question, no, I don't feel any type of way. I think everybody on the team feels that we all can impact the game in the ways that we know how to.
Time for a few more questions. Next one for Louis.
Hey, Chase, congratulations on the game tonight. Coach Collins talked about your versatility. What do you think your role is on this team? You got a lot of weapons on this team. What do you think your role is, and what can you contribute?
Well, when Coach Collins recruited me here, he told me just to be myself. I've been into different programs, and I feel like it's the real first time where I could just be myself. And to answer your question, I feel like my role is to do whatever's needed: rebound, defend. If I need to score, I need to pass. Just to be that Swiss Army knife, I guess. You know what I mean? Just to do everything that's needed of me.
Thanks.
And last question for Michael Barthelemy.
Hi, Chase. Great game today. I was wondering, people have talked about it before, when you're coming back from sitting out for so long and not being out in an actual game with all these guys early on, how was that transition from playing with these guys that you've never played with in game before? And did you find it difficult at all at times?
I think I had a rough start, to be honest, but what brought me through was my teammates. Like, they was talking to me constantly. Like, even though I didn't play last year, I was in every practice. I was in every meeting, every tough loss, every good win. Like, we were all together. So I feel like just that camaraderie and knowing that, like, my teammates are with me and coaches believe in me, I feel like that really made the transition from not playing to playing as easy as possible.
Great. Thanks, Chase. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, everyone, for being here.